Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
Hey everyone, welcome to the building. So, you guys, we're gonna talk about the new episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, the new season 15, episode 2. Y'all, when I tell you, we have had 2 episodes this season, and I already feel like this is going to be one of the best seasons of all time of Atlanta. Like, it's getting really good. But let's talk about this episode, y'all. So, we pick up at this party that Sanya threw for her husband's 40th birthday. So Kandi just had the blow up with Courtney, the new girl, where she had to walk away. And on the other side, Shereé is being told by Kenya that Martell DM'd her, and Monyetta is telling her about Martell having a side chick at Atlanta. To be fair, there isn't an actual DM of him trying to holler at Kenya, but there was a deleted message. But there also was a message from 2 years ago where he's thanking him for the kind words. So at the end of the day, we don't know, but it is Martell, so I wouldn't put anything past him. But as they're talking, he joins the conversation and he gets very aggressive. He tells Kenya that she probably opens up all the DMs that she gets and cusses at her. Kenya goes to 100 and calls him a piece of S. She says that once a cheater, always a cheater. It didn't end well. On the ride home, Martell says to Shereé that he's mad because this is the first time he's meeting all of them. So he and Shereé don't like the narrative that they're bringing out, but at the same time, you were the one who started it with the cousin, my dude. I do find it funny that out of everyone, the one who was not even touched by the drama whatsoever was Marlo. Like, she came out of this party clean. So we move on to the next scene of the episode, which Drew. We finally see Drew. She didn't appear in the premiere, but she's with her husband. And it looks like the family crisis that she had last episode has something to do with her dad, who he's having health issues. It's actually pretty sad. She talks about it, really emotional. But then they talk a little bit about her music, that song that just came out that I think is called You Already Know. It was produced like entirely by Ralph. Like, he was behind it. And it was so crazy to hear her and him like at the scene and at the confessional saying that they're, quote, in the best place they've been in regarding their marriage. I was like, damn, like how a few months can change things. And it also turns out that Ralph is related to Courtney. So isn't that crazy? What a small world. The next scene is Kandi and Sanya. They're having lunch. It actually turns out that they've been slowly becoming friends. I didn't expect that, to be honest, but I like it. They've been going on like family trips and stuff, and they talk about their struggles that they're going through personally. Kandi and Todd have the problems that we saw last episode, and Sanya as well, with all the family that she has living at her house. And then they talk about the party and Courtney. So Sanya carries the bone and tells Kandi that when she was at Sheree's house and Courtney came over, Courtney said that Kandi was ghetto. So the first thing Kandi says is, wait a minute, what did you say when you heard that she called me ghetto? Did you stick up for me? And Tanya was like, I mean, yeah, I defended you. Like, she most certainly did not. They broke the footage. You know how Bravo is with their flashbacks. So that was a good call on Kandi. I like that she did that. Instead of focusing on what Courtney did, she was like, wait a minute, what did you do? Who's supposed to be my friend? So good one on that one, Kandi. We see glimpses of the girls and their families, but the next scene is Kandi and Todd going over to one of his restaurants. Todd wants to open more restaurants, Mexican restaurants, stuff like that, which I find pretty cool. But I also kind of feel bad for Kandi, I'm not going to lie, because Todd seems out of it sometimes. Like, the way he talks sometimes, it's like he's just like, yeah, like, I want to open another restaurant. Like, he seems like he doesn't want to even engage in the conversation. So I do feel bad for her. But you guys, it gets a little bit messy. So Kandi's cousin comes over. And the three of them, Kandi, Todd, and the cousin, are trying some of the food from the restaurant, as if everything was good and nothing was going on. And the producer comes out and says, "We want to talk about the elephant in the room or what?" And he was indeed referring to the incident that we've all heard about that happened at Kandi's restaurant and the pow pow and stuff. And this is where they edit some confessionals of the women, saying something about it. And that's where Shereé says, "We don't know if we're going to get biscuits or bullets at Kandi's restaurant." I was like, yikes, Shereé is coming through with these reads this season. So, but that was it as far as that scene. They're obviously still going through legal things, but I think it was probably just a personal incident. I don't know. We don't know the full story, but the next scene is Kenya going over with a friend. Her name is Akila, and she's actually one of the women who Kenya said in an interview before the season started that she wants her to be on the show. And they both have daughters. The daughters have the same age, so they went to play tennis. That was nice. Shereé, on the other hand, is going over with Sanya to have dinner. And Shereé announces some good news. She is a grandmother now, so that's awesome. And then they get into the Martell of it all. They both come to the agreement that it is kind of irresponsible for Kenya to be calling their husbands aggressive. Well, not their husbands, their men aggressive, because Kenya did do that with Sanya's husband last season, and now she's doing it with Martell, so they agree with that. But by now, Kenya and Shereé don't know where they stand because they feel like each other hasn't been too good of a friend, like one to another. So they have to definitely sit down and have a conversation about this. Okay, so again, Drew and Ralph go to the recording studio. Drew has her mind set on this, and she really wants to step up her game as far as music, which good for her. And I gotta say it again, her and Ralph seem pretty good in these scenes, so it's so weird to me what we know. And then the next scene, which is the final scene, is Shereé at the warehouse of She by Shereé. And Shereé is so stingy, y'all. Like, she was upset because some of the pieces had to be ironed because, they didn't want to send wrinkly clothes. And she was upset because that was going to cost her money. But Kenya eventually goes over and they begin to talk about Martell. Kenya doesn't think Kenya doesn't think that Martell should have cussed at her, which I agree. I'm not saying that Martell didn't have a right to be angry, because of course he's going to get angry. But where he lost it was when he did start to cuss and be a little bit disrespectful. So I do agree with Kenya on that. But Shereé is still defending him. But more than anything, one of the things that Shereé's bringing up, not just on the show, but I was on Twitter a little bit a while ago, and Shereé did post something also, which is Kenya has been knowing that Shereé's going out with Martell for a while now. So for Kenya to bring this DM up right when they began filming, she finds it a little suspicious, which I feel like we can give her that, right? Like, we can give that to Shereé for her feeling like that. And, we watch Love and Marriage Huntsville over here, so I know how Martell is with Melody and what he does. So I feel like had it been any other regular man, I probably would be on his side, but it is what it is with Martell. Actually, let me read to you guys what Shereé put on Twitter. She put, let's see right here. She says, 6 months ago, ? Why didn't you say anything at the reunion at Kenya Moore? So they've been going back and forth on Twitter, all of them, to be honest. But Shereé says something really interesting at the end of the episode in her confessional. She says, you, referring to Kenya, you have so many problems with black men in particular. Martell, Sanya's husband, and others from the show, calling them aggressive and, wanting to be mean to them, but they can't be mean to you. Is that because you don't have one? Is it because you can't get one? And she specified that. And it's going back to what her and Sanya agreed on about, Kenya doing this to black man. And I don't know. It was a very, strong thing for Shereé to put towards the end of this episode. So I don't know. I just feel like Kenya I just think she doesn't want to be disrespected by any man, which I totally agree. But there is something interesting, which Kenya said, under no circumstance can a man ever talk to a woman like that. But then Shereé says, okay, well, then you have to agree that under no circumstance can a woman talk to a man like that. Because Kenya did call Martell a piece of S, and she did like curse him out also, which, to be fair, was a response to him. But then, like, it gets tricky, like it gets tricky because it's like, well, like you agree that a man shouldn't talk to a woman like that, but then a woman talking like that. So then, but then again, a man shouldn't ever talk to a woman like that. It's really complicated. So even I had a hard time like trying to process it as I watched that. But yeah, you guys, that was it for this episode. You guys, I thought I had seen enough. When I saw the trailer for next week, you guys, I I wish tomorrow was Sunday again, because next week it's going to get a little bit dark. Well, a little bit of a good thing is that Candace is going to come over with Drew, so it's going to be a little Potomac Atlanta crossover. That's super interesting. But things are going to get rough between Kandi and Courtney again. I remember when in the trailer of the season when Kandi said, "You are the ghetto." Yeah, that's going to happen next week. And things are going to get really a little bit to the dark side with Marlo. She's going to get into it with Drew, out of all people. And something about her cousin not being alive. It looks like this is going to take a dark turn, which I was wondering why Marlo didn't really appear in these last two episodes. Like, we've seen a little bits of her. So I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more of her next episode going forward. But you guys, as far as this episode, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments about what I just said about Kenya and Shereé in that conversation about the men and if they can talk to women like that. You guys tell me what you personally think and just your opinions of this overall episode. Anything you want to add, leave it in the comments. I'll read them and chat back with y'all. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. And we're going to be here next Sunday talking about the new episode of Atlanta. So please don't forget to like, subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. Have a great one.